You know, throughout my 40-plus years of studying success and human potential, I've discovered something remarkable that I want to share with you. Life isn't complicated. It's actually quite simple when you understand its fundamental pieces. The challenge isn't in the complexity, but in the discipline to apply what we know. I started my journey as an ordinary farm boy from Idaho. I didn't have special advantages or extraordinary talents. What changed my life was meeting my mentor Earl Schuff, who taught me that for things to change, I had to change. For things to get better, I had to get better. This profound yet simple philosophy transformed everything for me. Today, I want to share with you the 5 major pieces to life's puzzle that I've discovered along the way. Think of your life as a puzzle with 5 essential pieces: philosophy, attitude, activity, results, and lifestyle. When these pieces align correctly, the picture of your life becomes clear, beautiful, and fulfilling. When they're misaligned or missing, we experience frustration, disappointment, and underachievement. Let's explore how understanding and implementing these 5 pieces can completely transform your life, just as they did mine. Your philosophy is the way you think about life. It's the glasses through which you view everything, and here's the key. Your philosophy leads to your attitudes, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results, which create your lifestyle. Everything starts with your philosophy. Now, I'm not talking about complex academic theories. I'm talking about the foundational ideas that guide your daily decisions. Let me share something personal. When I met Mr. Schoaf, my philosophy was essentially work hard, pay your taxes, and hope for the best. It was a passive approach to life. He challenged me by asking, "Mr. Rohn, how much money have you saved and invested in the last 6 years?" I said, "Nothing." He then asked me to examine my philosophy about money, success, and life because my philosophy was creating my financial reality. It was a wake-up call that changed everything. Your philosophy is formed by what you read, who you associate with, and what you allow into your mind. Start feeding your mind with books of substance. I read the Bible for wisdom and faith, but I also read books on success, history, and philosophy. Associate with people who challenge and elevate you. As Jim Rohn, I'm often quoted saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That's not just a clever saying, it's a fundamental truth about how your philosophy is shaped. Start today by examining what you believe about success, happiness, wealth, and purpose. Your philosophy sets everything else in motion. You see, your philosophy is not just abstract thinking. It's the blueprint for your entire life. When I talk about philosophy, I'm talking about developing a set of principles and values that guide every decision you make. Without this foundation, you're like a ship without a rudder, simply drifting wherever the current takes you. I remember working with a young man who couldn't understand why success eluded him. He worked hard, sometimes holding 2 jobs, but remained financially strapped. When we examined his philosophy, we discovered he believed money was scarce, that wealthy people were somehow lucky or dishonest, and that he didn't deserve abundance. With that philosophy, no amount of hard work could overcome his self-imposed limitations. We had to start by changing his thinking, his philosophy, before anything else could change. What's powerful about philosophy is that it's entirely within your control. You can choose what to believe. You can decide what principles will guide your life. Ask yourself, what do I believe about success, about money, about relationships, about health? Write down your answers, examine them closely, and ask if these beliefs are serving you or limiting you. Remember, we don't get what we want. We get what our philosophy prepares us to receive. Change your philosophy, and you begin changing your life immediately. The second piece of life's puzzle is attitude. Your attitude is how you interpret what happens to you. 2 people can experience identical circumstances yet react entirely differently based on their attitudes. One sees opportunity where another sees only obstacles. One feels gratitude where another feels entitled. One perseveres where another gives up. The difference? Attitude. I learned this lesson early in my business career. When I first started giving presentations for a network marketing company, I was terrible. After my first presentation, nobody signed up. I could have said, "This business doesn't work." But instead, I asked myself, "How can I work better?" That shift in attitude, taking responsibility rather than placing blame, made all the difference. I improved my skills, and soon my presentations were filling rooms and changing lives. Your attitude acts as a filter for everything you experience. A positive, solution-oriented attitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means approaching them with confidence that you can overcome them. It means focusing on what you can control rather than what you can't. As I often tell my audiences, it's not what happens that determines your life's future. It's what you do about what happens. Your attitude is always your choice. No one can force you to have a poor attitude unless you give them permission. Choose an attitude of possibility, gratitude, and determination, and watch how differently life unfolds before you. What fascinates me about attitude is its magnetic quality. Your attitude doesn't just affect how you feel, it affects what you attract into your life. I've observed that people with positive, expectant attitudes consistently attract better opportunities, stronger relationships, and more support than those with negative attitudes. It's almost as if the universe responds to what you're putting out. I remember meeting with a group of entrepreneurs during a particularly difficult economic period. Half the room was complaining about market conditions, government regulations, and consumer spending habits. The other half was excitedly discussing new opportunities, creative marketing approaches, and ways to provide more value. Same economy, same industry, completely different attitudes, and guess which group was thriving despite the challenges? The attitude of expectation and responsibility was like a magnet for success. The good news about attitude is that it can be adjusted instantly. Unlike skills that take time to develop or knowledge that takes time to acquire, you can change your attitude in a moment. It's like flipping a switch. The next time you face a setback, practice saying, "That's interesting," instead of "That's terrible." Then ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I use this? What's the opportunity here?" This simple shift transforms you from a victim of circumstances to a creator of circumstances. Remember, your attitude is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to interpret what happens to you. The third piece of the puzzle is activity. What you do with your time, energy, and resources. This is where philosophy and attitude become tangible. You can have the greatest philosophy and the most positive attitude, but without productive activity, nothing happens. Success is not what you know or what you believe. It's what you do with what you know and believe. When I first started my journey toward success, I was full of enthusiasm, but short on results. Mr. Schoaf noticed and asked me a simple question. "Jim, how many books have you read in the last 90 days? I had to admit I hadn't read any. "How many sales calls did you make last week?" Again, my answer was disappointing. He helped me understand that my lack of results wasn't due to external factors. It was due to my lack of consistent, productive activity. I wasn't doing enough of the right things. Activity comes in two forms: things you do that move you toward your goals and things you do that move you away from them. The key is being honest about which is which. Are you busy being productive or just busy being busy? Are you engaged in activities that create value or activities that merely pass time? The quality and quantity of your activity will directly determine the quality and quantity of your results. As I often say, what you sow, you shall reap. Your activities are the seeds you plant today that will grow into the harvest of your future. Let me tell you something profound about activity. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Motivation is what gets you started. Discipline is what keeps you going. Anyone can be active when they feel like it, but successful people are active even when they don't feel like it. That's the difference maker. I developed a set of daily disciplines that transformed my life. Reading for at least 30 minutes, making a specific number of calls, writing in my journal, reviewing my goals, and exercising. These weren't spectacular activities, but they were consistent. On days when I didn't feel like doing them, I did them anyway. Why? Because I understood that the pain of discipline weighs ounces, while the pain of regret weighs tons. I'd rather endure the momentary discomfort of discipline than the lasting sting of knowing I could have achieved more if only I'd been consistent. Here's the beautiful secret about disciplined activity. It compounds over time. Small, consistent actions may not seem significant in the moment, but over months and years, they create massive results. Reading for 30 minutes daily doesn't transform your thinking in a day, but over a year, it's the equivalent of 15 to 20 books that reshape your philosophy and expand your capabilities. Making 5 extra calls a day might not seem like much, but that's over 1,000 additional contacts in a year. Remember, we overestimate what we can do in a day, but we drastically underestimate what we can accomplish in a year of consistent, disciplined activity. The fourth piece of our puzzle is results. Results are the scoreboard of life. They tell you objectively how well your philosophy, attitude, and activity are aligned. If your results aren't what you want, you need to examine and adjust the first 3 pieces. Results don't lie. They reflect exactly what you've planted through your thoughts and actions. Early in my career, I wasn't satisfied with my income. I complained about it until Mr. Schoaf said something I'll never forget. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. This perspective changed everything for me. Instead of blaming my results on external factors, I took responsibility for improving myself so I could produce better results. Results come in many forms: financial results, relationship results, health results, personal growth results. In each area, you must be willing to face the truth about where you are to create a plan for where you want to be. When you see your results as feedback rather than failure, they become valuable data for adjustment and growth. Poor results aren't meant to discourage you. They're meant to instruct you. They're simply telling you that something in your philosophy, attitude, or activity needs refinement. Listen to what your results are telling you. Make the necessary adjustments, and watch as new and better results begin to appear. What's fascinating about results is what I call the compound effect. Small changes in philosophy, attitude, and activity may seem insignificant at first, but their impact compounds dramatically over time. This is true whether your results are positive or negative. A small positive change, consistently applied, creates exponentially better results over time. Similarly, small negative patterns, left unchecked, can lead to devastating results. I worked with a salesman who decided to make just 2 more calls each day before going home. This small activity change, just 2 calls, led to 3 more sales each month. Not dramatic in any single month, but over a year, that's 36 additional sales. Over 5 years, it's 180 extra sales. This simple discipline increased his income by over 30% and eventually helped him become the top producer in his company. The initial change was small, but the compounded result was life-changing. Results also create momentum. Success breeds success. When you begin seeing positive results from your efforts, it energizes your attitude, reinforces your philosophy, and inspires more activity. This positive cycle accelerates your progress. The opposite is also true. Negative results can create a downward spiral if you allow them to damage your attitude and decrease your activity. The key is to recognize the early warning signs in your results and make immediate adjustments. Don't wait until small problems become crises. Be honest about your results, celebrate your progress, learn from your setbacks, and continually refine your approach. The fifth and final piece of life's puzzle is lifestyle. The life you get to live as a result of your philosophy, attitude, activity, and results. Lifestyle is more than material possessions. It's about living life on your terms. It's about freedom, purpose, contribution, and fulfillment. It's the quality of your relationships, your peace of mind, your health, and yes, your material comfort too. When I was a young man struggling financially, I visited a successful friend's home. It wasn't just the beautiful house that impressed me. It was seeing his library filled with books, hearing him talk about the places he'd traveled, and noticing how he spent time with his family. I realized he wasn't just financially successful. He had created a lifestyle that represented freedom and fulfillment. That day, I committed to building not just wealth, but a complete lifestyle that would bring me joy and allow me to contribute to others. Your lifestyle is the culmination of all the other pieces working together. When your philosophy is sound, your attitude is positive, your activity is disciplined, and your results are strong, the lifestyle that emerges is extraordinary. You get to design this lifestyle intentionally by making conscious choices in each of the preceding areas. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? How do I want to spend my time? Who do I want to spend it with? How can I make my greatest contribution? Then work backward through the puzzle pieces to create that lifestyle. Remember, the goal isn't just success, it's a successful life, a life of meaning, contribution, joy, and fulfillment. That's the ultimate reward of assembling all 5 pieces of life's puzzle correctly. As we conclude our time together, I want to remind you that these 5 pieces, philosophy, attitude, activity, results, and lifestyle, are interconnected. You can't neglect one without affecting the others. Your philosophy shapes your attitude, which drives your activity, which produces your results, which create your lifestyle. It's a complete system for living an extraordinary life. I began this journey as an ordinary person with dreams just like yours. What changed everything for me wasn't special talent or lucky breaks. It was understanding and applying these 5 principles consistently over time. The same opportunity is available to you right now. You don't need to wait for perfect circumstances or more resources. You simply need to begin aligning these 5 pieces starting today. The wonderful thing about life is that it's never too late to change. You can begin reshaping your philosophy today. You can choose a more empowering attitude this very moment. You can engage in productive activity starting now. And as you do, new results will emerge, creating the lifestyle you desire. Remember what I've often said. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. I encourage you to take what you've learned today and put it into immediate action. Don't just leave inspired. Leave with a commitment to begin reassembling the pieces of your life's puzzle. Your extraordinary future is waiting for you to create it. Thank you, and may you live a life of abundance and fulfillment.